getting the errors at 9 numbers. So how you can determine the errors and how can resolve the errors, and then how can then again recompile and resolve this. So today we start with the. So please request to the RC admin, unmute yourself. You have discussed with your students. Okay, now let's start. Today, so we start with the second block. In the second block, we have the first unit as the class and objects. So in the Java, how you can create the class and objects. About the class, we have already discussed. So in the class, we have to discuss about the methods and how we can access the methods, how we can constructor, static method, and then objects about that. Let me join some people's. Okay. So in the introduction, we can study about what is the basic structure of this units. In the first unit, we discuss the creating the objects, assign the object reference variables, introduction of the methods, and the static method, constructor, overloading constructors. And then after that, we have a study about these keywords and how can you use this keyword, or what is the purpose of this keyword, where you can use these keywords. You can use a study about this. Okay, and then after that we study about the method overloading. That is the polymorphism features of the object programming language. So it's come here. Okay, then garbage collection techniques. Then after that, for the garbage collection, Java introduces the finalize methods. So we can introduce and implement the garbage collection automatically. That's why Java is known as the robust programming language. So these are the part of this particular unit 1 of the block 2. So now let us start the objective of this unit. What do you mean the class? Study in the offline class we have already discussed about the class fundamentals. So class in the everything in Java, if you write any programs, we should write inside the class. Without the class, we can't write any line of a statement. So class is a predefined data type. You can say the class is the keywords or the predefined data type that describes the structure of an object, how an object to be built. Okay, how number of methods, how types of data required for that particular objects we can describe inside the class. So basically class is the constructor that is make a Java and object oriented programming. In C language, we have a study about the start keywords. That means we have defined the structure. So basis of the structure, we Java in object oriented programming language introduced as a class that have the basic properties and differentiating between the structure. They provide the data protections, method protections, but in the structure, we don't provide the data protections inside the class. So class is a group of the variable, the set operations manipulate these variables. That is set of operation means set of the methods. The operation means methods, or you can say function. In the C language, you know about the function, but in the Java, that function is called as a method. Here we can call as a method. So group of the variables, values, with the set of the operations to manipulate the value. Classes facilitate the modality and the information hiding. Classes facilitate provide the modality, any composing your encapsulating your data and the functionality inside the single unit, hiding the information. Whatever information you keep is hide from the outside. Classes are used to define the new data types. Once a new data type is defined, variable of the data type can be created in a program for the solving the problems. The variable of the classes are known as the objects of the class and carry the properties of the class with the values. is the property of the class. So you can say that the class is a template for any object of the properties, and the object is an instance of class. Before defining a class, we must know about the purpose of the class. So how you can define the class? This is the general purpose structure of the class. Class name, about this we have already discussed. Data type, variable name, then method name, you can define that. So about this we have already discussed, so no make sense here to declare again. So how you can declare the, there is one class is the student. So always class name should be start with the capital letters. Make any practice. You can, this is not compulsory, but the Java conventions rules, every class should be start with the capital letters. If the class name is consist of 2 or more words, then second word or onwards words should be start with the capital letters. These are the Java conventions rules. Okay. And the variable, after that you declare the variable, number of variables, how many variables you required for that particular class, you can define there. After that you need to define the methods as you declared that. Return type, method name, and then list of parameters. If taking the list of parameters, then you define the list of parameters inside the functions, and then write the set of statements for that particular methods. And in the class, this is the basic structure of a class, any class. If you define any class, this is a basic way. But what is the part of the class? There is only the class, variable name, and the method. But there is one special method, is called the constructor. Do you know about the constructor? Anyone can define what means the constructor, because you have already studied about the constructor in MCS024 language. Do you have the idea about the constructors? Anyone can explain what I mean by the constructor? Hello? Am I able or not? Meenakshi Rawat? Anyone? How can define the constructor? What is the purpose of constructor? What is the basic purpose of the constructor? No idea. How can study about the Java, Mr. If you don't know about the basic background knowledge about that, because the same thing you have to study here again. If you don't know, that means you are wasting your time here. If you know about that, you can save your time, you can learn the new things. Mr. Prince Prajapati, are you there? So do you know about the, what means the constructor? For which memory allocation? To whom it allocate the memory? To whom? Class, variables, functions, methods. To whom it allocate the memory? If you tell only that it's used for the memory allocation, but for which? Tell about that now. It allocates the memory for the variables and of that class. It initialize the initial value of that particular variables of the class. Initialization of the initial value of the variables class, variables methods. Constructor does return any value? Does constructor return the value or not? भाई क्या कंस्ट्रक्टर कोई वैल्यू रिटर्न करता है? इसलिए पूछ रहा हूँ कि ऑलरेडी आप लोग पढ़ चुके हो सी प्लस प्लस में। अगर नहीं आता है तब बोलो नहीं आता है सर, एक्सप्लेन दे। कीप साइलेंस।
No, sir. Constructor doesn't return the value.
Okay, good. So same thing you have to study here, na? Nothing to new. Nah. Only new thing is the how to create the object of a class. I am taking one example here. Let me share the whole screen because I'm sharing only one particular. Plus plus. Whole class to be here. Okay, now so how can I start the class here? Then? So class can be defined this way. With the help of the class keywords, we can write any class. Visible the font size need to increase or it's sufficient. If you're not able to view the screen properly, tell me.
ठीक है सर font.
Okay. So how can declare one class? Any class can be defined in the business. one start. Wait. This is the class. They have declared one class of the student. Okay. Declare the one student and one method they declare and they assign the value and just simply print the value. But they don't assign the value. How you can assign the value? Let the object and create the object and then run the program. So how you can do? It can do in this way. Let's see. So we can start any class. Suppose let's take an example of the employee. Employee the class. Okay. Here we declare employee data. What is the data required? Okay. So string, we take either EA name, AMP name, string, address, string, email ID. Okay, here's the data. And then waiting for the joining. Okay, so now these are data. Now required the method. Required display. To display the data only, you can write MP name plus MP name. Email ID, email ID. Okay, now class has been defined, but still memory data is not allocated to employee. Only the structure has been defined. This is the class. Now how can create the objects? How can create the objects? It is a class. Class declaration. Can declare this way, class or class definition. Now creating the object. How you can create the object? Creating an object, the syntax, class name, this reference variable, new keywords, and then again the class name. Time being, we are not using any constructors or whatever. Or you can list off for the complete syntax, list of parameters, arguments. Okay, so I can define here class name. So what I have given the class name here? Employee. So give the here name employee. The class name. Now reference variable. Reference variables depends on you. What you want to give the reference variables, just give here. Take here the employee equal to new, again the class name employee can take. Now this is called a default constructor. There is no list constructor, so time being we did not take any parameter or no any constructor here. So this is the way to create the object of that particular class. So here create a memory. This allocate a memory for the class member variable. These are the class member variables. These are called the class member variables. Void main public void display is called the what member methods of that class. It is called the member variables. So here the when you declare an object of the class, it allocates the memory for the member variables. It's clear here till now? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, how can access, because we are only allocate the memory, but we did not assign any value to do these variables. Okay. How can access these member variables, and how can access those methods to display the data? To access the member variables or the access methods, we use the dot operators. We use the dot operators to access the member variables. By default, in the class in Java, every member variables as the public. Wherein the by default in the C++, every member variable of class is the private. If we do not provide any access specifier, all the member variables here are the public. If you want to protect any particular variables or the methods, okay, we need to specify your access specifier. There are 3 types of access specifier. Do you know about public, static, public, private, and the protected? Do you know about that?
Yes, sir.
So, how to access? Accessing the member of class I can write this way. Member variables and the method of a class are accessed by using object of that class with help of dot symbol. Clear? So here, how can access? Now first member. Member variables. I can access member variables. Here we can access the name, the reference variable name. Dot member variable equal to, if you want the value, then you can give the value. This is the syntax. Okay, so for here, what is given the reference variable name is the employee. If you want to access the assign the value of name, address, whatever, how you can access? I can assign example. Reference variable is employee dot emp name. If you want to access the emp name, then assign the value. What is it? A string type. Deepak Kumar. Similarly, if you want to assign the value, email ID, employee dot equal to Deepak dot Kumar at the rate gmail.com. Done this way. You can assign the value. Or even then, if you want to print or whatever, you can do this. If you want to now print the value anywhere in a statement, if you want to write to print the value in the main, the help accessing the with the help of the dot operator and the reference variable, you can write it with this way. System.out.println employee name without accessing the methods. So if you want to print it right way, you can this way. Employee dot emp name. This way. You can assign the, here is assigning the value and here we are reading the data. Okay. So this is the basic way to how to access the member variable, how to assign the value up to the member variable by using the reference variables and then dot operator symbols. It's clear? Now how to access the methods. Now how to access the methods. Method of class. If method return the value, then you require the left side variables. If method does not return any value, don't require any variables. So I write here the common syntax. Okay. Yes, first we require the data type, then variable name, then reference variable name, then method name. If method taking the list of parameters, then you need to provide the list of arguments here according to the orders and the data types. List of arguments. This way. If method return the value, if method return any type, if method have the return type, instead of the void, then you require the left side variable. This one requires. If method have the return type as the void, then this reference part is not required. Clear? So here display returning nothing, void. So we can call this way. Reference variable is what employee dot display. That's it. If method return any value, suppose we take one method here, int calculate salary and list of parameters int wage and int basic salary, and to write some calculation here. Okay, then this scenario we need to pass the list of parameters also and return the arguments and return the value also. So in that case, how we can write all the methods? This method requires the two parameters as the integer type, and one is the day and the second is the basic salary. On that basis, we need to calculate the basic salary and return the calculated salary. So whenever the object call these methods, they require to store the data. Okay, so how you can call this way? Here you can take left side variable, which types? Integer type. int net salary equal to employee dot calculate salary and the list of parameters. We provide only here the, suppose you work only for the 25 days and your basic salary is suppose 16,000. On that basis, these methods calculate your salary and return inside the net salary, and then you calculate display the net salary, or you can provide the net salary into the next method when you got required. This is the way. Are you clear? Till now clear how to call the methods, how to call the variables, how can assign the variables. Any question till now? Tell me if you have any question till now. Hello?
No, sir, clear.
Clear? Okay. So yeah, now constructor need to describe, or can you skip the constructor parts? Whatever I'm teaching, you can match in your study materials. If any part skip in the flow, you can let me know. Continue. So
Yes,
guys, please be interactive. If I only speak, you keep silent, no make sense of this class. Hello? You continue or
Continue करिए sir.
okay? So do you want to describe here the constructor, so that after that we can do the demo one program also.
Okay, sir.
So need to describe the constructor here. Are you aware about the constructor?
Describe some basics constructor.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello?
Yes sir.
Which one?
Sir, my name is Jen.
Hmm.
24th semester.
Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Just tell me.
Sir, कैसे
Shutta.
Yes sir.
Yes, tell me.
Sir, क्या बताना?
G. I'm asking about do you know about the constructor?
Constructor.
Yeah.
Constructor.
Because you have already studied about the constructor in the BC32. C++ programming language. That's why I'm asking.
C++ structure बताना है ना?
No sense. Are you getting my sound properly or not?
Yes sir, proper.
I'm asking about do you know about the constructor? Constructor के बारे में आपकी idea है? What is the constructor?
Sir, constructor के बारे में idea नहीं है sir. Yes sir.
It's a method to create an object.
Okay. Or you can close your camera. No need to video here. Only concentrate your class.
Video close कर दूँ मैं.
Video is not required.
Okay sir.
Okay, why you're consuming that lots of the data during the video call?
Okay.
Okay, so let us start the constructor. So constructor is basically you can study here constructor about your given your program and whatever given here accessing the object reference variables. I will describe those things. NCL. I have described those things. Methods, I have also described those things. One static methods I will take later. It's a constructor. Guys, please read these lines, these paragraphs. I have highlighted. Are you visible my screen?
Yes.
Screen of
Are you visible my screen or not?
Yes, sir. It
Yes,
is
sir.
visible.
So
Yes,
read
sir,
one
it's-
this paragraph only. Okay. So here a constructor is like the object with the creation. It has the some name as the same name of the class. Once a constructor is defined, it automatically call immediately the memory allocation for before the new operation completed. Please unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself. Ganesh Gupta, please.
okay, okay, sir.
Anybody have the question, please? And if you have the question, you can unmute and ask the questions. Okay. So constructor. Class.
Yes, sir.
Student. Let's take a class as student. Okay.
Okay, sir.
I can define the constructor for that. Now, how many types of the constructor first let's say? Only 1, 2 kg. Oh, screen not visible. Oh, I forget to presenting the screen. Now visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so now let's say the constructor. Constructor is the basically the special methods of the class that has the same name as the class name. And constructor does not return the any value. It does not have the any return types, and constructor always declares the public section. But in the Java, there is one condition: we can create a constructor as a private. Okay, that is called the singleton structure, singleton design pattern. Java follows 4 design patterns. So one design pattern we follow the singleton. Okay, so we will discuss. If you go for the IT sectors, they will able to learn about that singleton class. What is the singleton structure? Okay, so in that scenario, we can create a constructor as a private. For your knowledge, for your syllabus, there is no required of singleton here. So here constructor is only declare the public sections. Okay, so this is basic. There are 2 types of the constructor: default constructor and the parameterized constructors. Default constructor, that means there are no parameters. If you passing in, this is called the default constructors. If you are passing the list of parameter, that is called the parameterized constructors. In the class, you can clear the both parameterized and the default constructors. Okay, so now let's see here and declare the both parameters and the default constructor both. Let's see, I take here one variable is called int int string name. Student, default constructor.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Anyone have question? Any?
No, sir.
I've assigned the default value here age, not 10. The default constructor. Okay, now declare the one parameterized constructor. Then,
बट ये जो आप बना रहे हैं जावा का है ना सर क्लास?
yes, Mr. Here for Java. Any doubt?
नो सर.
Whatever I'm delivering to you now, all those belongs to the Java.
ओके.
String S and name equal to S. Okay. So here we assign the value S to the name, and here we pass the initialize the value age 10. So here one is the default constructor, one is the parameterized constructor. Okay. So here the constructor is the declaration. If you are clear here in methods here, display student. Age equal to okay. So now how can call this parameterized constructor during the creating the object? So first object I'm calling to create the class name is the student. Reference variable, suppose we take the student 1 equal to new student. Second, we take the student 2 new student. In the list of parameter required, want to call first is call this one constructor which call this call the default constructor. Call to constructor. We have to parameterize constructor. How to call the parameterized constructor? If you pass the relevant parameters value, then call the string. You pass the string. Anyone give me your name? Suppose Vivek. It's called this constructor and this called the default constructor. Clear? Hello?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. So in the constructor, one topic is also the how do you override the constructors. How you can write the override constructors. So if in a class have the more than one constructor, parameterized constructors having the different number of arguments is called the constructor overloading. If a class contain a more than one constructor having a different number of parameters, it's called the constructor overloading. So here we have declared the one constructor. One is the default constructor and one is the parameterized constructor, but only one parameterized constructor. Let's take another constructors and we assign one variable also here. String address string program code. We can declare one constructor also here. Then string id string keycode. And address or address, not address. Equal to ADR. Program code equal to keycode. Then we need to call another constructor here. Student 3 equal to new student. What will you pass? New Delhi. And program code BCA. Okay. So here the constructor overloading. Constructor overloading is also covered here. What is the constructor overloadings? A constructor overloading is the mechanism, is the technique to define the more than one constructor in a class by passing or by declaring a constructor with a different number of parameters. It's called the constructor overloadings. Clear? Hello? Clear now?
Yes, sir.
Now, on the basis of student 1, student 2, student 3, if I write all those information I want to print in the display method, okay? Again, I write one statement here, system.out.println address system.out. Program code. Okay. So if you are calling to the first student 1 dot display, which value to be display? All value or only the age? Anyone? If you write this way, student 1 dot display, what will the output? Anyone? Which value is to be displayed? Only here.
All value, sir.
All value. What will the output? What will the value of age, name, address, and program code? Tell me. No idea? One who on the class. I only log in and away. Mr. Ravinder Kumar, are you there? No. Salni Rajput, are you there? Deepak, Ritik.
Yes, sir.
So why not telling? I am asking the question, Mr. If you are not able to ask the question, then I will ask the questions. You can tell yes or no. नहीं आता तो बोलो कि नहीं आता है.
No idea, sir.
Prince, मैंने पूछा क्वेश्चन आपसे, अगर हमने स्टूडेंट डॉट डिस्प्ले फंक्शन कॉल करते हैं तो क्या आउटपुट आएगा? होल वैल्यू आएगा, एज की वैल्यू आएगा, क्या नेम का क्या रिजल्ट आएगा? बिकॉज वी हैव असाइंड दोज वैल्यू नियर constructor 1, constructor 2, constructor 3. So first we have called the student 1 here. So what will the value here? If you know about the constructor, allocate the memory, assign the value, default value, then what will the result here? असाइनमेंट आपको आइडिया नहीं है, असाइनमेंट आप लोग सब बना लिए होंगे, राइट, और बना रहे हैं?
जी बना रहे हैं सर।
बना रहे हैं। असाइनमेंट में क्वेश्चन आता है कहाँ से लिखते हैं जी? नहीं आता है, गूगल करते हैं, लिखते हैं कहीं से भी, चलो कोई बात नहीं, बुक है, लेकिन उसको समझते हैं कि इसका क्या रिजल्ट होगा, क्यों लिखा है, कॉपी पेस्ट करके भेज देते हैं असाइनमेंट आप लोग। अब जब इसको देखो, जब यहाँ पर फर्स्ट टाइम ऑब्जेक्ट, यहाँ पर फर्स्ट कंस्ट्रक्टर कॉल हुआ, फर्स्ट कंस्ट्रक्टर का लोकेट हुआ, तो क्या हुआ, फर्स्ट कंस्ट्रक्टर हमने क्या किया है, स्टूडेंट को क्या वैल्यू दिया है, केवल एज की मेमोरी लोकेट किया है, एज को मेमोरी वैल्यू असाइन किया है, बाकी के लिए मेमोरी स्पेस लोकेट तो हुआ, लेकिन उसकी वैल्यू असाइन नहीं हुआ। तो वैल्यू असाइन नहीं हुआ तो इसकी वैल्यू मिलेगा कहीं से? मिलेगा जी? नहीं मिलेगा। So by default in the Java constructor allocate the numeric value, numerical data. अगर कोई numerical variable है, integer है, float है, जैसा ही the default value है the 0. अगर string है, variable string type का है, तो by default assign the value null. Okay, but by default assign the value as a null. अगर boolean type का data है, boolean type का है, तो by default assign the value false. Now clear? So if I call here the student dot word display methods, so what will the result output of these methods? What will the output? Age should be what value, name what value, address what value, program what value. बाबू पहले अगर नहीं समझोगे, प्रोग्राम बना के रन करा के केवल खुश हो जाओगे, तो आगे फ्यूचर में बहुत दिक्कत है। और आईटी सेक्टर में जॉब में जाओगे, नो वन कैन हेल्प टू यू शेयरिंग द स्क्रीन एंड डूइंग कोडिंग फॉर यू, can't survive in IT sector. Basic concepts should be clear during the study period. It is a learning period to you, not a development period. क्या विचार है आप लोग स्टडी करने के बाद, बीसीए करने के बाद एमसीए प्रोसीड करोगे, उसके बाद क्या क्या उसको ढूंढते हो आप? क्या उसको ढूंढते हो जी? अगर आईटी सेक्टर में जॉब ढूंढनी है ना आगे कमिंग ईयर्स, 10 to 5 years coming, only this language can exist. फाइट करना पड़ेगा, फाइट. Here we can print only the age, 10 value will be displayed, name, address. Address will be null. If you call it second student 2 dot display, then you'll get what value? Vivek, address, only name you will get. Because this object, how many objects we have created now? They allocate a separate memory. I will tell you. Okay, I've created what? Three objects. This is the object number print 1. Print 2. Print 3. Three objects. Okay, in three objects, how many variables I've taken in the class? How many variables? 4 variables. Okay. So everywhere the 4 memory space allocated. Okay. First one is the age. Second is the name. Third is the address. Fourth is the program code, P code. Clear? So first constructor, which value is assigned? If same value everywhere. Here is the age also, the age also. All things are same. Copy paste. So first constructor only assign this value 10. In the name, it assign the null. In name, it also assign the null. In P code, it also assign the null. Okay. Null. This way. The second, write it in the second, they locate only the name, age. This one, Vivek Kumar. In second, this is the name, only Vivek Kumar. For all, they located the null. For here also locate the null. And here, for integer, also locate the 0. Okay. Now clear? If you call the student1 dot display, what will it come? 10. If you call the student dot to display, which value will come?
Name.
Vivek. Now third, what do you give? Address and the program code. So where the address? Address this one. The address. This field is the address. So let's go New Delhi. This is the memory representation of. In the memory, in such way data store. BCA. Here for this one, allocate the null value. Here assign the 0 value. Clear? So how many object you are creating ना, जितनी भी ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट करोगे किसी भी क्लास का तो सेपरेट मेमोरी स्पेस अलोकेट करेगा और सभी के लिए मेमोरी स्पेस अलग अलग होता है, ध्यान रखेंगे. सो दिस इज डिफरेंट इन द नॉर्मल प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज और द ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज. क्या आप एक नाम का नॉर्मल सी प्रोग्राम में अगर कोई वेरिएबल आप int x डिक्लेयर करते हो, क्या x में आप डिफरेंट वैल्यू स्टोर कर सकते हो प्रोग्राम में? x इक्वल टू 10, x इक्वल टू 5 रख सकते हो? रख सकते हो जी? बोलो यस या नो. भाई मेरे रख सकते हो. हमें स्टूडेंट 1 डॉट स्टूडेंट 2 डॉट हमने एज कर दिया, ठीक है. एज इज इक्वल टू हमने साइन कर दिया 20. वेरिएबल तुम्हारा एज एक ही है ना, वेरिएबल नेम एज एक ही है, बट इस एज को हम डिफरेंट डेटा लोकेट कर सकते हैं. फर्स्ट स्टूडेंट के लिए हमने क्या एज दिया 10, सेकंड स्टूडेंट के लिए हमने क्या एज दे दिया 20. अगर हम यहाँ साइन कर दिए दिस वे तो स्टूडेंट डॉट एज इज इक्वल टू 20 रेफरेंस वेरिएबल के थ्रू हमने. तब यहाँ वैल्यू क्या स्टोर हो जाएगा, यहाँ पे इसकी वैल्यू क्या हो गया. अगर हम इसको इरेज कर दें नाउ एज में वैल्यू क्या हो जाएगा स्टोर, सेकंड स्टूडेंट के लिए 20. क्लियर? सो एवरी ऑब्जेक्ट allocate the separate memory for its own data member variable. जितनी भी इसकी मेंबर है सभी के लिए सेपरेट मेमोरी स्पेस allocate करेगा. तो it also contain the separate data, individual data. Student 1 different, student 2 different, student 3. Clear? If you call this student 1 dot display method, student 2 dot display method, which value it will display? Only those value where they are located. The display method can access those value only. क्लियर है यहाँ तक जी?
हाँ सर.
कि अभी भी डाउट है?
सर
Okay, so this is about the constructor. So topic constructor here. You can see whatever I teach you can see here. Complex number, they have taken the complex number. So in the complex number, two parts, real number and the imaginary parts. They have created one constructor here, the complex, passing the two parameters, and one taken the one method here, the so complex, and printed those value, real and the imaginary part with the I variable. I. Imaginary part always start with I. Do you know about the imaginary?
yes sir.
So here taken this, created one constructor passing the two values. 5 is the real, 2 is the imaginary parts. R1 dot so and a complex method you display this way. So whatever you pass the value, you assign to the these variables. Now clear about the constructors? Any doubts? Constructor overloading also I have done. Now come to the these keywords. Let's see about these keywords, and it will ask your examination also. Your time for the 2 minutes. I'll give the break. You can study about this.
सर जो आज क्लास होनी थी RC3 के अंदर वो आज पोस्टपोन हो गई है या फिर होगी सर?
स्टडी कर लिए, पढ़े, समझ में आया दिस कीवर्ड?
हेलो।
आया समझ में दिस कीवर्ड क्या है, किससे यूज करते हैं, कुछ समझ में आया?
हाँ सर, ये जैसे दो वेरिएबल के नेम सेम नहीं हो सकते ना प्रोग्राम में, उसको अलग करने के लिए।
दिस कीवर्ड यहाँ पर जावा में आप पढ़ेंगे दिस कीवर्ड। सी प्लस में ऑलरेडी पढ़ रखे हैं आपने, दिस पॉइंटर पढ़े हुए हैं कि नहीं? वहां पर दिस के साथ एरो सिंबल यूज करते थे, याद है? याद है जी?
हाँ सर।
सेम कंसेप्ट है। दिस कीवर्ड रिप्रेजेंट द current class reference variables. This is represent the current class reference variable. But the reference variable is the object, represent the object of the current class. Okay. So when the formal parameters or the local parameters variables equal है ना, same as the class member variables. अगर दोनों का नाम सेम हो गया तो वहां पर कंपाइलर को अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं होती है कि कौन सा हमारा लोकल है, कौन सा हमारा क्लास मेंबर वेरिएबल है। उसको डिस्टिंग्विश करने के लिए दिस कीवर्ड का यूज किया जाता है। दैट्स द ओनली द बेसिक फंडामेंटल यूज ऑफ दिस कीवर्ड्स। हियर यू कैन सी parameter of the method variable overlap the instance variable, that means the class member variable. To differentiate between the local variable or the formal parameter this variable, this keyword is used. The reason I want to use this keyword is to resolve the name conflict that might occur between the instance variable and the local variable. And that is that this keyword can be used to refer the object directly. So how can you use these keywords? Only with the help of, here you can see, I can explain here with this example also. One class is taken the test this rate, amount, interest. This is the class member variable, or you can say the instance member variable, instance variable. Whatever the variables declare inside the class body is called the instance variable. Don't confuse instance variable or class member variable. Whatever variable you declare inside the method body or parameter variable is called the local variable. And test constructor here, intr, inta. Okay, here the both are the difference. So no need to use here these keywords. No need to use this keyword. Total interest rate you calculated this way. It's simple, no use. Now second. They did not explain about that. Huh? Yeah. Let's see example. I'll tell you how you can do that. And you can apply this. Here they apply this. Returning object, how they pass. Let me check they have used or not. Static, no. Class marks, yeah, marks display, percentage. Here they have passed. They have taken the one class method, static methods, and the set grade, they use the mark. Marks here is the class type. Marks is a class. M is the reference variable. You can see marks, here you have taken the marks. Whatever the value calculated here in the marks, no, they assign to this here, marks. And the M dot percentage, they are accessing from the M object, marks objects. Passing object parameter. Let's see how you can pass. Suppose we have taken one class student. Enrollment number. String name. String address. String program code. T code, short form. Okay, बीच में data taken the get student info one methods void display student info. I've written something this way. I've taken one class exam form. In exam form, int control number. Int string exam center code. String what information now is subject code. We taken the list, but simply we taken one simple bucket. Int roll number also here. String name also here. Get exam form data. Pass here the one. Student go ahead. Generate display. Exam form data. Okay. This is the way. So how you can pass the reference, pass the object. So now take one class here, main class. Just object reference. Simple test. Okay. फर्स्ट हमने स्टूडेंट का ऑब्जेक्ट बनाया, s इक्वल टू न्यू स्टूडेंट, s डॉट गेट स्टूडेंट इंफॉर्मेशन रीड कर लिया हमने. नाउ एग्जाम फॉर्म के लिए हमें डेटा पास करना है. नेक्स्ट हमने एग्जाम फॉर्म फॉर्म 1 न्यू एग्जाम फॉर्म. ओके. नाउ अब हमें पास करना है एग्जाम फॉर्म में डेटा रीड करना है. एग्जाम फॉर्म के लिए गेट एग्जाम फॉर्म डेटा दे एक्सपेक्टिंग द स्टूडेंट ऑब्जेक्ट. स्टूडेंट टाइप का ऑब्जेक्ट चाहिए. देन फ्रॉम द ऑब्जेक्ट स्टूडेंट से डेटा जो भी चाहिए हमें स्टूडेंट से क्या चाहिए, रोल नंबर, उसका नेम चाहिए. ठीक है. तो पहले हम यहाँ पर डेटा स्टूडेंट का रीड कर लेंगे. इस डेटा को हम पास करेंगे एग्जाम फॉर्म को. डेटा को कैसे करेंगे, फॉर्म 1 से कॉल करेंगे डॉट गेट exam form data the expecting object of the student. So what is the object of the student? S. Okay, the S. Okay. After that form 1 dot display exam form data whatever for detail. So S here pass as the object as a parameter. S is object passing as a argument. Now how is this s assigned to this s variables? How you can access the value? Here you can assign this value roll number equal to student dot what is the variable name in the student? It will mean number. the enrollment number, and then name variable equal to student, not subject. Student dot, what is the variable name here in student? Name. This is way. This is the passing the object as a reference. Clear? Clearly or not?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the example. So in your books, you also explain according to this. They calculated the percentage in the marks class. Okay, percentage they calculated, and the percentage passing to the class which to calculate the grade. Not in the passing any other class, they use the same class. In the same class, they have declared one method. But in the real scenario, you can this way. And now, one class data required to the pass in another class, how you can pass this way. Similarly, we can return an object. If you return the object, that means you return the more than one value. A function return only one value. But if you return type on a function or method as the object, you can return the more than one value. So in exam, in interviewer, someone may ask, could you return the more than one value in the objects format? How you can return the more than one value by the one function? Could a function return the more than value? Yes, we can return the more than one value. How we can implement? By returning an object from the methods. How can method return the objects? So method return type should be as the class type. Then that method return object. See here. Here declare one class. What is the class name? Is the salary. Class name is the salary. Where the close? Where the close the class. Now second class object return test. Object return taken the second. Main methods, and they see here method name increment salary. What is return type? What is return type? क्या रिटर्न टाइप जी? इंटीजर रिटर्न टाइप. इसको इस स्टेटमेंट को देखो आप, इस लाइन को देखो. दैट्स इट. हमने यहाँ पूछ रहा हूँ इस मेथड में रिटर्न टाइप क्या है. इस मेथड में यहाँ पे मेथड का नाम है इंक्रीमेंट सैलरी. दिस इज द मेथड नेम. This is the class name. In this class, there is one constructor. Second is the method. Declare the increment salary, passing the salary as a object reference. So return type here is the salary. That is the class. Class is also the data type. So when you return the class, that means return an object, complete objects. So when the object returning, so how many fields in basic salary or employee ID? 2 fields, 2 data they returns. If you return the S, inside the S 2 field, basic salary, employee ID. Clear? So how you can return the objects? We declare on methods with a return type as the class in which they are declared. जिस क्लास के अंदर जो डिक्लेयर किए हुए, जिस क्लास के अंदर डिफाइन किए हुए, सेम टाइप का आपको उसका रिटर्न टाइप रखना है, और देन आपको रिटर्न कीवर्ड में उसका एक इंस्टेंस रिटर्न करना है, उसका ऑब्जेक्ट रिटर्न करना है. Here is the instance S. Declare this S dot basic. S dot basic point to this. ठीक है. जिसका भी ऑब्जेक्ट होगा उसमें वो रिलोकेट करेगा, वहां पर वैल्यू असाइन कर देगा. क्लियर? मेथड ऑफ लोडिंग आपको आता है. नो नीड टू डिस्क्राइब हियर. One keyword here is the finalize keywords. This is the predefined keyword methods for the garbage collections. So be remember these 4 points. of the garbage collection. Nothing to worry about. In the last class, we discuss about the unit 4.2 of the block 2. Okay? See you in next class. Okay.